Hello everyone, this is Shubham. Welcome to our UIPath tutorial. In the first lecture that we have discussed the basic of UiPath and like hyper automation stuff, right? So simultaneously, we are covering a course which is automating our front end web application and with using Cypress, and it will go and we'll try to see how it's gonna help us to automate XHR or API testing related stuff. And right side by side, I'm trying to cover or I'm trying to enlighten you guys with our hyper automation related stuff. Whether in the where in the first lecture and the first video, if you have seen, which I have like put up in my video like YouTube channel, over there I've discussed like you see there are a lot of human intervention and manual intervention has done to our day-to-day activities. Like either it's going to be logging into some application, SEP application, desktop application, and trying to fetch a lot of data. So for that we have been using UiPath, and that has been in a lot of in business processes that has been getting used, and it is gonna get used in upcoming years. So it's gonna be the future. So let's not wait. And this we have discussed. I guess this is our UiPath homepage, or would look like something like this. The folder structure would be like this, where you have all these Excel activities, mail activities, and everything you can automate using this. Then you have one main data XML file which you can see and know about like how the basic flow goes by, or flow runs by. So this like basic test has been given over here. Then a lot of stuff we need to still discuss: screen scraping, that or data scraping, that it scraps the data from any images and stuff. And you have this recording. So using this recording, this similar way and you have in QTP or Renrex, you can record this stuff, which is the operation which you have been performing on your application on desktop, and then you can store it, you can save it, and you try to run it. So you can do automation based on that as well. So we'll not be moving forward with the recording. We'll create and we'll try and discuss about two things over here. So in UiPath, two things are very important. One is flowchart, another one is sequence. So you need to know what is flowchart, what is sequence. So if you have learned basic math, so in the math you must have seen the flowchart contains lot of operation which can be sequential and non-sequential. But a sequence comes under flowchart. You need to understand these two terms very carefully over here. Flowchart can have multiple sequences, but sequence cannot have any flowchart, because sequence is the part of flowchart. So that is what we're gonna have over here. So this main.xml file you are seeing, right? That is kind of flowchart, right? And I'll show you. I'll try and creating one flowchart over here. So you're gonna right click over here, and we'll start with our first test case. And the first test case which you're gonna automate is something like based on Notepad. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna just try opening Notepad, type something, and try and saving it, right? That looks pretty fine, right? Very basic test case, and let's start with that. So what you're gonna do, you have gonna go and create a local folder with similar every automation tool you do that. Right click on the sample learning, click on add, and yeah, you can see the multiple option folder: start machine, global handle. I'll explain you later. Flowchart and sequence. Sequence is nothing but you can have your sequence. Like suppose for Notepad automation, I can use sequence as well, because it's gonna be with the same application. Notepad opening, Notepad typing something, save something, and closing the Notepad. But suppose you want to have your Notepad open and you want to type some data into it, that you want to paste into Excel or like what? Suppose PowerPoint. There are gonna be two applications involved, right? So it doesn't look nice if you're gonna use one sequence only. It would be like flowchart. We'll be using flowchart over there, and the flowchart can have multiple things. So that is why flowchart would be more useful over there. So I'll start with sequence. If you want to see sequence, I will use sequence in flowchart. So we'll discuss about sequence over there. First we're going to go and create flowchart. Any like similar with any automation tool, you're just going to name it something. So I'll give it our first robot test. It looks fine, right? The first name, because we are creating our first robot test. This is how our flowchart would look like. See, you're seeing this start button, right? So from there, the execution will start. Now, you're gonna drop your sequences over here. Sequence means nothing but your module. So these start is having a node. So I'll show you what is all about the node. Let's go to activities first and type something like sequence. So I want to include sequence in this flowchart, right? So you just need to do nothing. Over here, you're seeing these three options, right? Go to activities, drag the sequence, paste it over here. Done. A sequence is over here, right? So in sequence, you can name the sequence as your per convenience, right? So suppose if I'm like working on, so I'm gonna go over here, and if you don't want this particular thing to be seen and you just want to work on this sequence for a little longer, just double click on it and you'll be over here. So now I want to name the sequence. What should we name it? Notepad, right? Because we are working on Notepad, so I'll name it Notepad. Now the operations, we'll talk about the operations which we are going to perform on our Notepad. So do you remember what we are going to try to achieve over here? Yeah, similar thing. Open Notepad. Okay, so I'll keep the Notepad open. Yeah, so we need not to do anything. We just need to open the Notepad, type some stuff, save it, right? This is our operation. So let's try. I'm pretty much excited to create our first robo. What do you need to do for opening the application? What do you think the keyword or activity would be? Nothing. You're just gonna go over here in activities. You'll just type open. See, it would give you the option open application. Drag it, paste it over here. Now you see open application has come up. Now it is asking you what application do you want to open, indicate on your window screen. I'm gonna click on it. See, I have not opened it. It is not pointing to Notepad, right? So either you can press escape, it will go back over here and try Notepad open like this, then go to UIPath and then indicate on Windows screen, so it will point to your Notepad, right? Or there is another option as well. Suppose you have in between opened some other application, like this time I have done this, right? And now it is not focusing on your Notepad, and you wanna wait, you wanna go over and click on it and then try to focus it. But if you're gonna click it over here, it will not see the note, it will not open the Notepad, it will open this particular stuff. So to avoid that, remember this keyword shift F2, and it will wait for you for 3 seconds so that you can change your focus to that Notepad and select the application over there. So I'm going to press shift F2 and you will see in this particular area the counter will start. Shift F2. See, 3, 2, 1. Now it will ask to focus, it will ask you to focus again. Now focus. See, it is saying that I have identified that I need to open this particular application. And see, over here you are seeing multiple properties. So one is the properties file name. You are seeing that it has identified that your Notepad has been placed over here in system 32 and under Windows. Then you have selectors of that as well. Let's see about selector. So it is giving Notepad and multiple stuff, right? We'll talk about this later in our different like when we are trying to parameterize our selectors as well. Then we'll talk about it. First we'll see our basic robot test. Next operation is what we need to type something, right? So you can just go ahead over here, you can write TypeInto, right? You can drag and drop. Other option, if you don't want to type it over here, you want to add something over here, you can always do that, right? So first thing is done. You can gonna drop your activity over here. You can just write type into. Yeah, see, type into has come up. Now it is asking you again where you want to type. I want to type it over here. Now it will ask you what do you want to type. So either you can write it over here or you can write over here in properties. So let's write it over here. So let's write it over here for your reference. Always should be surrounded with double inverted comma. I will write some text like sample robo test. That be fine, right? Yeah, that's fine. What is our third step? Third step would be nothing but we need to like save it. So for saving, what hotkey do you use? Control S, right? Similar thing you need to do over here. Just search for hotkey. It will send. It will give the option hotkey. You send hotkey, and then it will ask you what do you want to select. And select Control and S to save. Now it will save that particular document. Fourth option is what? Suppose I've typed something. Fourth option is what? I need to type something here, the file name, then I'll need to save it, right? I'm gonna select operation where I'm gonna write something. So again, type into operation. I'll select that. Now it will ask again, where you wanna type? I'm gonna type it over here. Then what do you wanna type? So last time I've shown you by writing over here. This time I'll show you by writing over here. So I'll name our notepad would be the first robo test. That'll be fine, right? Next operation is what? Nothing. Again, you need to save it. So you need to click on it, right? So click operation. I'm gonna click it over here. From here also you can do, and from drag and drop also you can do. So I'm gonna do click. Now it will ask you again where you wanna click. I will indicate it that I wanna click it over here. Done. So our first robot test case has been done. Now what we're gonna do? We're gonna try save it and try executing it. And I'll tell you it is gonna throw you error. And why is it gonna throw you error? I'll explain you later. See, it has thrown you error. Flowchart does not have a start node. That was the node I was talking about, right? In the starting of the lecture. This is what the node I was talking about. So in a flowchart, it is asking, see, this start node has not been connected from somewhere. It has to be connected. Then only it is not identifying from where I should start. Similarly to main in Java, that main from main method starts or from main execution starts. In that main only you create the reference of different classes and call the method, right? Similar way, the start is the main over here. From here execution start, and from here where it should go, it should go over here. So I've connected the node now, and now I'll start executing it. Let's see, it has started the execution. It's gonna go open the notepad, sample robot test, control S, first robot test, saved it. It has done the operation. It has got successfully passed. We have created first robot test of ours. Can you imagine? So day-to-day basic activities, day-to-day basic stuff, you can automate it. Suppose with the same data, you need to write and you need to save thousands of notepad. What you're gonna do, you're gonna just go ahead and create this particular test and just parameterize your file name, file name 1, file name 2, file name 3, and it will save thousands of notepad with one click, and without you hampering, without you creating thousands of notepad. With the same data you can create multiple. Suppose you want to print this card with the same data, it has to be 1,000 with different name. Just need to parameterize the file name, and that will be do the task for you, that will be doing the task for you. So this is the beauty of hyper automation. So we'll talk about this more in our next lecture. Till then, keep learning and try your first robot test. I hope if any feedback, please come along, and please feel free to connect with me on or comment on it anything on your video, and I'll surely be replying on that. Thanks.